Hey guys, so today I'm bringing guys a brand new sports cards video. In today's video, we will be high-end investing with me, looking at some cards that I believe are great buys. Overall, going over my high-end basketball, strategy in general. But before we get into that, I do want to say, as you guys know, I launched my ultra high-end membership just around 6 weeks ago, and just on April 4th, our ultra high-end membership group. So ultra high-end membership group is essentially where I recommend $10,000+ cards, and we are buying up these 1996 Topps Chrome hobby boxes when they were just around $22,000. The most recent sale is $45,000, and I see them going for between $45,000 and $50,000 constantly on different marketplaces. So our ultra high-end members who got in early essentially doubled their money in a span of 5 weeks. Despite the market being fairly slow, we've been able to catch the rock bottom on many investments. There's so many opportunities right now. So if you guys would like to join in on the profit, if you are in more of that budget of $10,000+ cards, you can use code April to get you guys 22% off of our ultra high-end membership. If you guys are more interested in $1,000 to $10,000 cards, you can use code Platinum to get you 30% off our Platinum membership. And then if you're more into the lower end, sub $1,000 cards, you can use code Winter2020 to get you guys 15% off the normal memberships. But just a lot of money to be made in general right now in the market. A lot of great investments that I can be taking you guys through. So if you guys would like to join in with us, click the link down below. But without further ado, we're going to go ahead and hop right into this video. So we're first going to be going over the mid-tier, which I essentially consider safe investments. So these are more so safe investments, not ultra safe. We will be going over ultra safe investments for the high-end folks, and then some more risky ones that could potentially have much higher payouts. So more what I consider safe, is cards with low pop and cards that are very sought after. So one prime example that comes to mind with this is 2003 Exquisite Kobe. So of course this is first year Exquisite for Kobe. Exquisite in general right now is becoming the way to invest in ultra high-end cards. We've seen this of course with, the Exquisite market being driven by the $5.2 million LeBron sale recently. A lot of incredibly big Exquisite sales have been going down in the recent months. And this is bringing a lot of attention. Every time there's a new $5 million sale of a LeBron Exquisite, we're seeing a big boost in demand for Exquisite in general. So first year Exquisite is certainly going to hold long-term relevance, and Kobe's Exquisite has been, holding up despite the fact that his Topps Chrome, since February, I believe, February 22nd, or February 21st was the last real comp on this BGS 9. And you would think since then, his prices have dipped around 50% on his Topps Chromes. Kobe's Topps cards have dipped basically 50%. A lot of his cards, his star date is dipped around 70%. Yet his Exquisite is holding up, and in fact, went up around $3,000 in the span of 3 months. Which, considering where the market is, this is a very, very safe investment. The market, it's not totally relying on the market, which is very nice, and there's so much upside. I mean, we've seen this card soar, in the past year. This card was essentially, I would say, $3,000 to $4,000. It's currently up to around 25 at a BGS 9. So these are overall great long-term investments. Of course, Kobe autos are always going to have great relevance. And then first year Exquisite with a nice patch, that's always going to get you some good profits. Even LeBron, I definitely believe that LeBron's, I would say in general, of course, his Exquisites are incredibly expensive, especially from 2003. But there's some alternative investments that have been doing, very well. They have dipped, I will say. Of course, Kobe's have held up, but LeBron's, SPs have definitely dipped. I believe there was one comp for 80.6. This card was a $220,000 card at one point, although there were no real comps at card shows and everything. This card was doing over 200,000. It's currently right around 80,000. But this is certainly, in my eyes, a six-figure card long term. Out of 500, imagine the demand for all these after that $5.2 million sale, with all the buzz around these high-end autos for LeBron and Kobe, I certainly believe that a card with such a low population, with such high demand when LeBron is hot, this card can soar to incredible levels, and especially the fact that it doesn't hit market very often. When you have one guy who may be looking after this card and has never seen it at auction, and all of a sudden he sees it at auction, there's a lot of good things that can happen there. There's a lot of money that can be made for sellers. I have had some of these cards, for example, a Jordan Exquisite, where I was able to, profit around, I would say $10,000 in one day, just from finding the right buyer. A lot of this high-end stuff with such high demand and such low pop, if you just come across that buyer who's looking for the card you have, you can get crazy good money. I've had plenty of times where I bought, say, a Jordan Exquisite for $20,000. The same day I flipped it for around $30,000. And that's simply because you just got to find the buyer. That's really how things work in this market. All of these are incredible investments because they don't hit the market very often, and there's a handful of high-end investors looking for these cards. So you just have to pinpoint sought-after cards with low populations and just find those buyers. Put them on the market. You're going to get incredible offers. Take them out to card shows. You're going to get great offers. That's really how things work. It's great trade bait. I've had a lot of times where I've got into a high-end Jordan auto, say at $15,000, $20,000, and all of a sudden, people want to trade up, and you get $25,000 worth of trade of liquid stuff, and you just move that, and that's an easy $10,000 profit. So that's really where I try to focus on for this sort of realm of safe investments. Just go for stuff that people want. It really gives great trade bait. It really gets you strong offers, potentially, even higher than market price if an investor is, looking for that card and yours is the only one on the market. You can have great, I'm sure this is getting a ton of offers, even though it's priced very steeply. Just a lot of these sought after Jordan, LeBron, Kobe cards. And I can even see that, going back down to Steph Curry. This is one card I have been buying for around 3 months. This card is just criminally undervalued in my eyes, considering that Steph's Topps Chrome, is around $50,000 in a PSA 10. I think there's so much growth with his high-end autos. We're seeing what LeBron's Exquisites are doing. Of course, this does not have a patch in it, so it is a little bit different of a dynamic. But, still, this card is very, very undervalued in my eyes. Steph is one of the few players who are currently playing, who can possibly go down as a top 10 player of all time. He just continues to shatter records. And, the Warriors could be back to full strength next year. Just a lot of upside here in Steph's high-end market, in my eyes. I know it's a little bit of a market that hasn't been touched as much as LeBron, Kobe, MJ's. But as the high-end market grows, I believe that people will see great value, in Steph, compared to the prices of even Kevin Durant right now. Compared to the prices, of course, of LeBron, Kobe, and MJ, Steph is such a small fraction, and I think his high-end market in general is going to see probably, in my personal opinion, this is a bold take, but I believe it to be true. I believe that over the next 6 months, Steph's high-end autograph market and his high-end market in general is going to see the most growth out of any player in the NBA. His high-end market is just untouched right now, compared to these other players. I was buying these, I believe, in a BGS 9 for around $10,000, I would say a month ago. They're already seeing good growth, but I certainly think this is, going to be very, very key card for Steph down the line with Exquisite taking off. But then we're going to go on to, the next tier, which I consider to be a little bit higher risk, but I think there's so much more growth here. And that is with players such as Carmelo. After the LeBron sale of $5.2 million, we saw Carmelo's same exact card do just $20,000. That is 1/250th of LeBron's card, right? Same exact card, nice patch, BGS 9. You got to think that as Exquisite continues to grow in popularity, as there continues to be more sales in the market, Carmelo has good room. He has a bunch of room to go up. His Topps Chrome is sitting at around 5%, the price of LeBron, and his Exquisites are less much less than 1% the price of LeBron. So I think there's great growth in Carmelo's 2003 Exquisites. I actually went ahead recently and got into a limited logos of Carmelo, and those are trending upwards. And there's a LeBron limited logos BGS 9 about to sell right now. So at PWCC, that could break a record number for limited logos, and I think that could trickle down to Carmelo's limited logos. We're already seeing it start to trickle down to Dwayne Wade's 2003 Exquisites. These are on the rise. So I think if Wade is really starting to see some growth, we could see some great growth in Carmelo's as well. I happen to believe that a lot of the time in the market, when a player is in their, I would say transcending years where they're, kind of after their prime, but they haven't retired, they kind of go underappreciated. Even in Dwayne Wade's last few years in the NBA, he didn't get much appreciation until he retired. Then he got all this recognition. And I think same could be with Carmelo. When he retires is when we'll truly appreciate him, and when his prices will see a good increase. So I think this is overall, a great buy. You could probably snag this for around 12 to 13 grand, considering that the BGS 9 did 20. And I think that's a great buy. Overall with Carmelo, or with LeBron's, breaking incredible numbers, for his BGS 9, I think that Carmelo has a lot of room for growth. It is a little bit more risky because the high-end market for Carmelo is not quite there yet. It's more of a bet you're placing on the high-end market of Carmelo, but if that pans out, I could see this being a $50,000 to $60,000 card one day, and that's the incredible upside. So that's definitely a great buy. But then on the other side of things, we have the ultra safe investments, and that is certainly hobby boxes, going for the most sought after sets and just holding on to these, because this is going to do very well long term in my eyes. This one day in my eyes can be a $50,000 to $60,000 box, could one day possibly be a $100,000 box. Who knows? It kind of is reflecting LeBron's Topps Chrome refractor box, and his Topps Chrome refractor cards. This box really mimics the growth of that, and it's a lot safer than buying the actual card. So I think these are overall the safest high-end investments you can make. As I mentioned, my ultra high-end members made a great killing in 1996 hobby boxes. That's a great profit right there of $20,000 in a little bit over a month. So just a lot of money to be made with boxes. You still get the good upside, but you have a lot less downside. Like, these have not crashed like LeBron's Topps Chromes have. So that's a great sign for hobby boxes and boxes in general for these sought after sets. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. Once again, if you guys would like to join in on our ultra high-end membership or any membership, click the link down below to sportscardsinvest.com. But I hope you guys got some value from this video. And other than that, I'm out. Peace.